I appreciate that in Jag, they never got together until like the last...
Well, excuse me?
Jag? Jag? You never watched Jag?
That may be the first time I've heard Jag referenced in 20 years.
What? Jag's like my favorite show.
Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. Critically harsh reviews with a touch of class.
Engage.
Welcome, everyone. This is I, Jerry, the star of the Board Game Snobs podcast.
It's getting progressively conceited.
No, it's not conceited. It's factual.
No.
Yes, it's
From
factual.
primary host to star.
Well, I have given up the title of primary host.
Wow.
Yes, I have. Because one of our listeners settled the lifelong debate that we've been having. The life of the show debate.
The life of maybe
2 years.
Fruit fly.
Yes. Who is the host of the Board Game Snobs? Many questions have plagued our listeners, this more than all others.
Who cares about our number ones?
Yes, who is truly...
Our top tens?
Yes.
Our favorite genre?
Who is truly the host of this podcast?
Who is the primary host of this podcast?
It has been settled, and settled by none other than Lindsay. Let me read you this. Lindsay, of course, contacted us via the Instagram. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter.
Via telekinesis.
And you can email us at boardgamesnobs@gmail.com. This is a Board Game Snobs podcast. This is about board games. But technically, we also like to banter for a little bit. Lindsay,
which is what this is, just foolish banter,
says the following. Not sure if I can sell your co-host host debate, but Gaby is the obvious host, and Jerry is like a guest. The host is gracious and entertaining, and the foundation of the show. The guest is exciting, does most of the talking, and is the star of the show. I find that Jerry's voice is both soothing and borderline.
She just then lost all credibility.
His hair is luscious. She didn't say that. Yes, so Lindsay...
See, your conceit continues to grow.
To continue this analogy, much like how George Lopez was the star of Beverly Hills Chihuahua, I am the star.
He was not the Chihuahua.
Who was he? He was the original one, wasn't he?
No, a girl was... Drew Barrymore was the Chihuahua.
I think in the first one it was
She
George
was the
Lopez.
Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
George Lopez was the...
Oh, wait. You know, I've never seen the movie, so I don't know. We'll have to consult Eric on this one.
Eric will figure it out.
So, I'm the primary host is what you got out of that.
Yeah, so go ahead. Continue. Do your hosting duties.
All right, well...
Ask me questions.
Oh, you just...
Tell me, excuse me. Let me get my black barrel here. My, what is this again?
Oh, the alcohol I provide for you
as
when
a good
you come
host
to my
would.
house.
As a good host should. Jameson Black Barrel.
There's would you quit tearing my table apart?
Tell me. Ask me about my day.
Jerry, how was your day?
It was fine. Thank you for asking.
I got off today because it was rainy. Thank you, rain. I have been looking forward to
precipitation.
Precipitation. I've been looking forward to precipitation for quite some time, for at least the summer months, because I've been working very hard providing for my family.
You seem to be talking a lot about yourself, which is not what a host should do, but I will...
that's why I'm just following your example.
I will banter back.
You just got to be talking about how you were the star and your luscious hair.
No,
yes, you did.
It's pronounced air. Of the air of the Board Game Snobs.
The silent H.
Yes, the silent H.
This is something I found that kind of made me sad, but also quite humorous.
Tell me.
A kangaroo first spotted in the wild with a bucket stuck on its head 5 months ago has resurfaced.
How is it surviving?
It says at residents of the Noosa area of Queensland, I don't know where that's at, nicknamed Buckethead by locals, was first spotted about 5 months ago when the handle of a bucket stuck around its neck.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was confused. I thought the bucket actually was over its head.
He wasn't just hopping around.
So there's a
in
bucket
blind darkness.
connect. He's got the little. He's
like
got
around his neck.
He's got the little thing to the handle around.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's just like the bucket's just hanging.
It's just
from his
hanging
neck.
there.
And people are concerned about Buckethead.
I would be too.
And I'm kind of concerned. I hope he's okay. This was from about a month ago.
Bruno, get down there and take care of it.
Not Bruno. Where's Queensland? You mean Troy?
Troy, Bruno, any one of them.
They try to remove the bucket and catch him, but he's crafty.
He's so crafty.
Maybe he's renovating his pouch.
He's a crafty. What if he was born without a pouch and he just stuck
born
this?
pouchless?
He carries this. Got this bucket to carry the kids in.
This'll work. I've got this bucket around my head. Who needs a pouch? Oh, but that pales in comparison to an actual pouch. Oh man,
It's not bad at all.
thank you, thank you.
Try not to laugh. He probably
It's
has
filled with water.
his food. He just bounces around and eats out of it. You know, it's his.
It's his food.
It's his lunch
food
pail.
tray. That'd be nice. That's kind of like when I sit down and I just set stuff on my belly because my belly's large enough. I can just prop a plate up on it now.
What's
And I
those
just eat up
things
off
they
of it.
put on horses? They put food in it and they put a muzzle around it and just eat out of that.
It's an oat something.
Yeah, it's
something
like
for oats.
like an oat bag. I just think that one of these days we're going to get to where the drive
feed bag.
feed
Feed
bag
bag.
drive-throughs are just going to do that. You're just going to pull up. They're going to
Just
put
put
your
it around
food
my
in here,
neck.
put it around your neck, so you can keep both hands on the wheels, and you just eat your fries out of this bag.
That would be nice.
Welcome to America. Here's your chicken sandwich. Keep both hands on the wheel. Watch the road. Do people in Europe? I've noticed this. I've noticed.
that would help your neck and like this double chin, perhaps.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
do all that-
Strengthen your
do all that
jowls.
working out.
That's what Bubba right now is in Europe. He's taking off.
Oh,
By the time of this podcast, he will either be in Rome
must be nice.
or he's either in Rome or Paris right now.
They're going to 3 major metropolises in Europe in the course of about 3 days apiece.
Yeah, he's just going to visit Rome for a little bit. Then he's going to
They're
visit.
just driving through.
He's just driving through. He's going to drive. He's going to see Rome for a little bit.
We're
see
landing.
Paris.
As soon as we land, we got to get out of here
Quick! Everybody take some pictures.
to Paris as fast as we can go.
Where in the world is Bubba?
Oh.
And then he's going to go to London. And
What about, okay, so Bubba keeps trying to get you and me, but he knows that you have a better chance of going to Essen.
right.
I will never go to Essen, just FYI.
Because you can't get on a plane.
It's not because I physically can't get on a plane.
Not due to size restrictions,
I
but it's
choose-
because of your nerves. I want to clarify that.
I choose-
That's what you meant, right?
I have to book 3 seats.
That's not true.
I'm
much
being
weight have you-
self-deprecating.
How much weight have you lost? You've lost a lot.
Not much since the last time we discussed
Well,
it.
the last time, no. But you're starting your downward trend. You're doing it.
Well, if I can stick to it, yeah.
Yes. We need everybody to send encouraging thoughts to Gaby.
Encourage me.
Yes, it's encouraging. Well,
You can do it.
You lost a lot of weight and
I need
maintained
more
it.
than just GIFs of Rob Schneider from Waterboy saying you can do it. I've seen all those I can handle. Well, I'm still on the tequila diet.
That's working for you. But no, you're not going to Essen because you can't get on a plane.
This is the deal.
You have a phobia.
Yes, because it's not even that I'm worried. Okay, I'm in a tin can up in the air, 30,000 feet.
Right.
Yes, that goes through my mind quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like the restriction of I want off this plane right now, and I can't do it. I can't open the door for air.
You could do it. You
Well-
make a big enough fuss, they will set that thing down.
Can you open those doors?
They're pressurized.
They're
so
pressurized, so I couldn't open the door.
No, not for the most
Roll
part.
down a window.
You can't.
Don't
Don't have that.
Crank down the window.
So what you're saying is
This
you'll
is
never
for
get on
sure.
an airline to Europe.
No, I can handle one for an hour to Origins, which it would be an hour
Well,
from
we
here
could
to
drive.
Origins, or
We
an
could
hour and a
drive.
half.
So that's what I was going to put out here. Me and Bubba are either going to go to Essen. I think I would just do that for the cultural experience.
But that's my other deal. Like, if I'm going to go to Germany, like, I want to see Germany, not just play board games while I'm there. It's like I would land and just be inside a building playing board games.
We could get you.
We could do that here at my house.
You could go get a Loderhauser. That's stockings. I'm sorry,
Lederhosen?
Lederhosen. What's that? Or
Loderhauser?
what are those?
What are those? I don't know.
Weyerhaeuser is a tree company.
I don't know what loader housers are.
So either we're going to do that, or we're going to go to Gen Con. I'd like to drive the Gen Con. We should just drive the Gen Con. We could do Gen Con
very easily. That's Indianapolis, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I drove to Chicago.
Chicago?
My wife makes fun of me because I say Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
What
the
do you
city
say?
of the big shoulders?
What do you say?
I say Chicago.
You say Chicago.
Chicago?
I say Chicago. Is there a proper way?
I don't know.
Chicago, the Windy City, but not for reasons you think.
Fan mail. Sorry, you're supposed to be the host. You're really dropping down your duties here. Should I take care of this?
We've been talking. Oh.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to guide everything?
Generally, that's how it goes.
Okay, the newest episode of The Flash.
Oh, no, I take that back.
Okay.
Never mind.
Matrix 4 adds Neil Patrick Harris. It's going to be legendary. Why would they add him?
He's a doctor. He's the
Zhivago?
No, doctor. Well, you didn't watch his sing along, Doctor Horrible sing along.
Oh no, I don't like musicals.
Okay, Richard the Wolf.
Except Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
He sent us an email.
Richard the Wolf.
I don't know. That's his nickname. He's got a wolf as his avatar.
Loopy.
Which that's means I'm not even going to delve into it, but yes, it means wolf. First and foremost, I need to know who is the official primary host.
Well, that's been settled.
That's been settled. And what special powers does he hold over the secondary host? Well, there is no secondary host. There's the host, which is Gaby. There's the star, which is I, and then there's the production manager, which is Enrique.
Who's never here lately, by the way.
His kidneys are getting rough.
If he drink more than Dr. Pepper.
He says, very interesting comment about roll and rides not being board games. I agree. There are no more a board game than a crossword puzzle or word search.
Oh, snap.
Shots fired.
Sudoku.
We don't call those board games, so why are roll and rides considered equal?
Or a maze, like just a maze on a puzzle. Well, no, I guess.
So to this, Gaby, I ask you. He says, how about dexterity games? How about social deduction? So do you consider social deduction to be a board game?
Well, this is where I emailed him back and I said, is semantics like the words you use, like the definition?
Yes.
So it's a matter of semantics, right? Mm-hmm. So are we talking about games that actually have boards? Is that what we're referring to only as board gaming? Probably not. Because Dominion is like everybody's number one deck builder board game, right? Does it have a board? I don't know. I've never played it.
What?
Dominion.
No, it's cards.
Okay. The Mind.
It's not. It's a card game.
He referenced that in as well. What's that? Diamonds that Fitzgerald made, I think. Basically, people call board games anything that's not old.
It's analog. It's tabletop.
Right.
So that's what
what about poker?
It's a tabletop game.
Well, that's what I said. Now, are we going to define what most people call board games are actually tabletop games?
Right.
Because they're people. It just depends on how exact you want to be in your wording.
Yeah.
Does it have a board? No. Is it a tabletop game? Yes. Does it fit in the category in which we think of modern board gaming? No, not poker.
Yeah, we're not a tabletop snobs. We're
right.
Board games, and we enjoy board games. And it's interesting that neither of us, including Enrique, are involved in any type of living card games or really like any type of miniature warfare games.
Star Wars Destiny, not a board game.
No, but we enjoy it.
It's got cards and dice.
It's got cards and dice. But yeah, it's there's a definition. There's differences, and I think that rolling rights to me. Oh, I forgot. Rolled West. I have Rolled West. Rolled West. I looked it over. Really is a 3-player game.
Oh.
But I'm excited to play it.
Really?
Yeah. As soon as Enrique gets back from long, no,
even though it's a rolling riot.
Even though it's a rolling right, I want to do a rolling right special.
We did that.
Well, we didn't
basically.
Well, we need to talk about it a little bit further definitively.
Okay. Oh, and I was thinking one we didn't discuss as well was the first one I played, which was that rolling through the ages. Rolling.
Oh, through the roll through the ages.
Roll through the ages.
Roll through the ages.
Yes.
It's pretty decent.
It was boring. I mean, it's okay. But that's like the first roll and write that I played. And there's a new one out called, it's the one that Space Biff just did a thing on.
Oh, Roman roll.
And I got the same feel for that.
Thank you, Space Biff.
You're building monuments.
SpaceBiff.com for the premier writing of board games. His review on Tapestry, the man illustrates pretty much the same issues that we had with it.
As does Efka.
As does who? Tapestry. I think I need to wind back a little bit of what I said about Tapestry on our podcast. Like I talked about it being, and we'll walk some of this back. I think I said something about it being, I don't know if I used the term not play tested, or I can't remember exactly what all I said about it, but we played it again. And I would like to emphasize that everything I said on that podcast, I meant it. Probably more so.
What are you walking back then?
Should have been harder on it. I should have been harder on it.
Okay, I'm taking back my mild disapproval and reinforcing it with strong disapproval.
Yes.
It was pretty bad. We played it that second time, or that third time for me. And yeah, you were floundering atrociously and getting angrier by the moment.
Yes. How many times? Oh, I'm glad you brought this up.
But I like what Efka said. When you get close to the end on the technology track, it literally requires you to pay back your technology cards for 10 points, which, depending on how many of those spots you got open, you get the resource that you've worked so hard to get that's running up your track. You're going to have to use that to pay off to get it. Listen to him. See, this is why he's better than me.
But he is not. You're the much better host.
Everyone's better than me. Oh, am I?
Yes.
It just showed, he said it was, someone didn't play test this enough. Like, it just didn't make sense. The stuff is just crazy.
Two things. One that you brought up, not in connection with Tapestry, but what I will hard merge in here. You brought up to me a few weeks ago about sad fishing.
Oh, yes.
Gaby calls me in a rant going on about sad fishing, and I listen as any good friend
You're
would.
A good friend.
I sit here and he goes on talking about so and so was on Twitter and they were sad fishing, and so was on Facebook.
Learned just
and they were
recently.
sad fishing, and so finally, with my abundance of humility, I asked him, "What is sad fishing?" And he begins to describe that basically it's when somebody takes to whatever social media and starts talking about how woe is me, life is terrible, in hopes that people will then come to that.
Oh, you look good.
Yes.
Everything's great.
Right.
Oh, you're wonderful. Oh, don't do that. You're beautiful.
That's not good. That's not good at all. And
I wouldn't think it's especially healthy mentally.
It's not healthy mentally. I don't think that it is. And I feel like we've just now gone into like this is the Dr. Phil portion of our show.
I'm listening.
I think that if you
Fraser Crane.
Yes, I think I love Fraser Crane.
I know, that's why I said
the show
I'm
got ruined when Daphne and Niles got together.
Tossed salad and scrambled eggs.
Well, why? Why would they?
It's any show where the whole will they, won't they? Will they, won't they? They, them. I was speaking in Old English.
Will they,
won't they? That when they get together, show's over.
Right. I appreciate that in Jag, they never got together until like the last.
Well, excuse me?
Jag. You never watched Jag?
That may be the first time I've heard Jag referenced in 20 years.
What? Jag's like my favorite show. There's like
nobody watched Jag.
I'm
just joking. It was a big hit. It was a big hit on CBS. That's like saying, like on NCIS.
First off,
all the 80-year-olds and older. Sorry.
Did you just knock NCIS.
And JAG.
No.
What does JAG stand for?
Judge Advocate General. Let me tell you right now, my wife, if my wife is listening to this, she's going to be angrily texting you right now.
Well, she can put down her Werther's Original and text me.
Oh, that was a burn and a half. But yeah, in JAG, they didn't get together. They went to like the last episode.
I've literally never known anyone to watch JAG.
I've watched every single episode like 3 times.
Oh, that's amazing.
How can you not?
Very simply.
Do you not? Oh.
What else was on when JAG was on? Whatever it was, I was watching it instead.
I don't even know what to say.
Let me get this straight. You act like you were above Friends, but here you're watching JAG, this cliche procedural about the Judge Advocate General.
No, it's about they investigate things that take place in the Navy.
Oh, that's so different than NCIS.
They're lawyers. It's a courtroom drama.
Like,
do you
where
not like
else
John
can we
Grisham?
investigate?
Yes, stuff happens.
See, we've got Mark Harmon. He's already doing the criminal investigating.
Fun fact, NCIS was a spinoff from JAG. JAG single-handedly saved CBS. JAG was one of the most important television... You're about to make me take my... I'm about to take my sweater vest off right now. I cannot believe...
You just kicked off your loafers in rage.
Yes! So, for instance, NCIS was a spinoff of JAG.
You know, I see so many people cosplay as JAG characters.
David James Elliott is Canadian.
DJE?
He is literally one of the best things that came out of Canada. Catherine Bell looks good even today.
You're saying people I don't know. Okay, what show are they in now?
They don't have to. They're resting on their laurels. They're done. They're done.
That big JAG cash.
Yes, it's syndicated.
Never seen it. Never seen an episode. Let me watch an episode and I might change my mind.
I don't even know what to say. It went on for 10 years. I don't even know what to tell you.
I'm sure it was
a great show.
Very
it's a great
original
show. You've upset me. We need to move on to whatever our topic is.
Did you watch Murder, She Wrote as well?
No, I did not.
Matlock?
I did enjoy Matlock.
Ironsides?
I didn't watch Ironsides. Why are you harassing me? Look, the guy... Look, I don't... Look, I give you fits. I don't give you too much fits about your Marvel comics this and Marvel comic that. Oh, no, I've watched all 25.
I didn't know. Little did I know. To get Jerry fired up, let's discuss JAG.
It's a great show.
Wow.
It's a great show.
Next time I go to Comic-Con, I'll see if there's any actors from JAG there.
They don't. They're retired. They're done. They did their bit for humanity and television, and they're done. So we played a game the other day. I'll let you compose yourself. For being the host, you're not very gracious. I might be the host. I don't know if you're going to be able to maintain your primary host duties.
I have really been thrown off, I have to say. Never did I expect JAG to trigger Jerry with rage.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So we played a game.
CSI Navy. That's what you might as well just call it.
No, I'm not talking about it anymore.
Law and Order
I'm not talking about
Navy.
it anymore. I am not talking
Where
about
was the show based at? San Diego?
No, I'm not talking about it. It's done. It's done. We're done. We're moving on.
No, we're not.
This is this is not a show about JAG.
I'm dedicating my next several minutes to looking up JAG facts.
So we played a game the other day, one that I was super, super excited to play, called Irish Gauge. Now, Irish Gauge is a pretty straightforward game. It's one of those games similar to Concordia that has a very concise, very simple rule book. For instance, I think this was like one page, like front and back. In Irish Gauge, you're using trains. You're building track from city to city on this map and also buying stock in these particular railway lines. And so the various color railways are out there, and on your turn, you'll select one, place them out there, And then you also have the option of offering up an auction where the players go around and bid on stocks of these railways. It was a very respected game.
I was wondering why you were going so heavily with the navy blue in reference to Jag.
It's not a reference if you have to say it's a reference to Jag.
His name was Harmon
Rab. And he was...
A.K.A. Harm.
Yes. Is there something about that?
Did you harm him?
He was mentally harmed.
Did he cause harm?
He was mentally distraught because his father got shot down in Vietnam, went MIA, and was never found until like season 7. He didn't know what happened to his father.
Sounds like MacGruber.
No, look, you're doing this to rile me up, and I will not engage with you when you are like this. You're a terrible host when you get like this. And it's a capstone game.
I'm looking
Irish
up
Gauge.
net worth of all the actors from Jag.
Irish Gauge.
You discussed the game. I'm on to something else.
You go ahead and look up how popular Jag was at the time. You do that. Cut your mic. Irish Gauge is about investing in these railways, and then after you've invested in them, trying to connect them to these various cities, and then when they pay out, whoever has the various shares get the percentage of the money. So what's interesting about this game is it's very simple to teach. It's very easy to learn. It's very easy to set up. It uses cubes that you place out onto the various cities to indicate which color this city is: pink, black, white. And then in this bag, when you're ready to call for basically dividends, call for a payout for your railways, you reach into this bag, you pull out 3 cubes, you place them on the board, and those color cubes indicate what color cities pay out. And then all the railroads that are connected to those cities end up getting a certain amount of money depending on how many cities they're connected to. And that money is divided up amongst everybody who has stock in those railways. I love stock games. Anything that is a stock game, I'm foaming at the mouth to play. And Irish Gauge, as soon as I heard that it was described as a stock game, I was all about it.
You were very excited.
Very excited. First off, shout out to Atomic Empire.
Yes.
Atomic Empire is a board game shop in North Carolina. We've mentioned them before. They sent us this game.
Denmark, North Carolina.
Denmark. Something smells foul in Denmark. They ship very quickly.
I think it's Dunham. Dunbar. John Dunn. David Dunn.
David Duke.
Lieutenant Dunbar.
David Duke's the racist. Dunbar is the guy off of
Kicking Bird.
No, is it? You're confusing me. I thought, what? Just cut all of this.
No.
I cannot stand the fact that
I'm done with this discussion.
I'm done with this discussion too. You know why? Because Jag is quality television.
David James Elliott is worth $15 million.
Yes.
I'm shocked. I'm really shocked.
You know he's worth more than Will Wheaton. There you go. He's worth more than many people.
Well, he was the star of the show.
Look up Catherine Bell.
Well, this is the deal. If you get on, especially a CBS show back in those days, and you were the star of the show, and it lasted 10 years, you're sitting pretty. You're sitting pretty. Catherine Bell. Oh, wait. It's with a C.
Not everybody in CBS did well. For instance, I think in the 90s, the number 1 rated show
Catherine
on
Bell Network.
CBS after
$15 million as well.
After Jag was Nash Bridges, another excellent television show starring.
Were you into that one as well?
Oh,
no. Well, because it just come on right up. It's just like TGIF. You just sat there. You couldn't find the remote, so you just ended up watching them all.
Nash Bridges was Thursday Night Lineup. It was prime time.
Where's the remote, Jerry?
No,
I don't know, Dad.
Nash Bridges was basically a slightly toned down Miami Vice. So you had Don Johnson with his buddy Cheech Marin, and then later after Baywatch got big and they took Yasmin Bleak off it, she come on.
Yasmin.
It was great.
Never watched Nash Bridges either.
The number 1 rated show on CBS. You never watched it.
Nash Bridges was the number 1 rated show.
Yes, Don Johnson just like settled some sort of lawsuit against CBS, getting his royalties.
It was Nash Bridge. Jag. Final episode was 2005.
Yeah,
so
it was 95.
It
was 95 to 2005.
So it came on when I was graduating high school.
So why weren't you watching? You had no excuse.
Watching CBS was not on my priority list when I was graduating high school.
Boy, you missed it, man. You missed it.
That would have been, let's see. Yeah, that's in the Baywatch days.
Nothing better than sitting back. Well, Baywatch, that was just ludicrous.
Well, Luda.
That was crazy.
Cray.
That was at a time where that is affront to quality television.
Literally, I agree.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, it was literally just beautiful women jogging in bathing suits in slow motion.
I did appreciate,
and it was a smash, a worldwide hit for a long time.
I did appreciate that David Hasselhoff tried his best.
Oh yeah,
he was trying his best to sell it, but then again, he should have stayed out of that. He had his Knight Rider money.
What about Patrick Labiorteau?
He is actually retired back to Louisiana. He's the younger guy.
Is he in
the
Thibodeau?
show. Yes, he's retired. He's also been in some shows since then.
He
was Bud.
David James Elliott. He's been in like 3 movies since.
Yeah, he was in. He was John Wayne in the show that was directed.
Trumbo.
Yeah, Trumbo. See,
I just saw that on Wikipedia.
Yeah, you just can't beat me when it comes to Wikipedia. I got all these. I got this lined out. Irish Gauge. I'm disappointed in it.
Mm-hmm. We started off very excited.
Very excited.
And initially, we're like, buying stocks, doing the trains. Well, there's like 3 actions. You can buy stock, and you can auction, lay a train. What was the other one?
You can call for dividends, or you can place a cube out there to make a city a large city, so it'll pay out dividends. And so this game is well respected. Capstone Games, this was another game they released this year, was Pipeline. And it took me a while.
0 for 2.
It took me a while playing this game to realize why I didn't like it. So to buy the stock, you have to do an auction. And the auction is your turn. You declare an auction. Everybody has to bid on these stocks, and the stocks don't multiply. It's just a percentage of how much money you get.
I did not like that.
I did not like that. But the auction is the game. Most of the game plays out the same way. You're laying the tracks, certain areas, you're connecting certain cities, and then you have these auctions, and you have to be particularly aggressive in driving up your opponent's bid so that they're spending too much money on these auctions. It's not an investment game is what I'm getting at.
No.
It's an aspect of it. It's more of a bidding game.
Yeah.
So when it falls into that bidding game mechanic for me, I love modern art. I love Medici. I love high society. There's like scads of other bidding games that I love that this game can't compete with. I was really wanting a stock game, a light investment game, but what I got was a very, very light, almost not pick up and it wasn't pick up and deliver, but it was just it's an auction game. It was an auction game.
The trains were little, and they didn't vary in where they were located. So literally, we played 2 games, one right after the other. I had the orange train stock, so I was laying orange trains. Because of where it's located, I literally ended up putting it in the exact same spot because the other person did their same move, blocking me off. So I just put the orange train in the exact same spots. And I think that's how most of it went. The trails that were chosen for the particular train colors pretty much went the same direction. Now, I'm sure that would change depending on player count and if you specifically wanted to try something different. But just playing one casual game after the other, the laying of the trains was not anything interesting. You have 3 points. If you're going to a difficult spot, that's 2 points for a train. An easy spot is 1 point. So you could go to 2 spots or 3 easy spots. Or if it's an occupied area, that's 1.5 points. So you could go to 2. I mean, you could divide it however you wanted. Not that interesting. The only interesting part was we were hoping the stock part. But if you ended up with the majority of the stock, or even all the stock, it didn't benefit you. You just got that amount. If somebody else got a piece of that stock, then you got 2 to their 1. It just wasn't interesting. We went from this to Airlines Europe for comparison purposes.
Okay.
Oh, wait, my microphone isn't on. To Airlines Europe for comparison purposes. Airlines Europe.
Which is something you'll never do. Take an airline to Europe.
I will never do that. And it was like one of the first games I bought because I remember people saying it's like a step up from Ticket to Ride. I don't get that because it is simple, but it's a stock.
It's a what?
It's an actual stock
It's
game.
an actual stock game. So
if I have the most stock, I get the most money.
So if you don't like JAG, try NCIS. After playing Irish Gauge, I told Gaby, hey, let's bust out Airlines Europe. Airlines Europe, this edition that we have, was printed in 2011. Airlines Europe's actually much older. Airline Europe, to me, is Alan R. Moon's best game. To me, it's better than Ticket to Ride. It is a stock game that you are basically making these connections, these airline...
Much like you do on Tinder.
You're placing airline connections out on this map of Europe, and you have to pay a certain amount of money to do so. And the more money that you invest in your airline, the more its stock goes up. Mm-hmm. Once it reaches certain areas on this board that wraps on the track,
a board game,
it gives you so many victory points if you have the most stock in that company.
So, like, if I have the most blue stock, I'll get 6 points. If Jerry has the second most, he'll get 3 points, and then the person gets 1 point.
Yeah,
I like that because we're competing for those blue stocks then. And if I see you're going in heavy on blue stocks, well, maybe I'll switch over to gray stock.
And here's what's great about it is that deep down, it's a bluffing game.
Yeah.
So on your turn, you have a hand of cards. And the cards that are in your hand are just what you possess. They don't mean anything
have a hand
to
of
you.
Cards.
Yes.
So the cards that are in your hand.
Yeah, they're useless to you. They're useless until they're played out in front of you.
Played out.
And on your turn...
The game's not played out, though.
On your turn, you can play 2 cards of two different airlines, or all the suits...
All of them, right?
Of one type. Just lay it all down.
So if I have 6 red stock of red airline, they got names, but I don't know that, or red and blue, then I can play all 6 and you get 2 million apiece.
Right. So you get money for playing these stocks, but also what happens is that you want to let your opponents spend their money to increase the stock of the airline,
Right.
and then all of a sudden, boom, you lay out all your cards.
Yes.
And as you place these airline connections,
You can ride their coattails.
basically that's what the name of the game is. After you
No, it's actually Airlines Europe.
play a airline connection,
Riding coattails. We should make a game called Riding Coattails. And you just follow each other. It's just a racing game.
It's just a roll and ride.
You're wearing a tuxedo.
I roll a 4. You have to roll a 3 or less.
Riding coattails.
If after you have made a connection, you can draw a card from one of the cards that are face up, so everybody sees what stock you're taking in your hand, or you can blindly draw one from the top, keeping everybody ignorant to what you have in your hand. And so there's some strategy. There's strategy to that. And that's what I really like about Airlines Europe. So why would I...
And it is so simple. I love, as soon as we start playing, I'm like, this is what I love. I can either increase the stock I know I have, or I'm not sure what Jerry's holding. He has some of the same stock I do. I should shore up, make sure I get the majority, or just go after something completely different. It's just, it just in that alone aspect of the game, there's a lot of strategy to it and bluffing, like you said, and trying to figure what's going on.
And I would say this, why would you buy a new game when there is an older game that to me is better? I don't like this cult of the new. What is happening now in the board game industry is that they're just recycling old mechanics with new themes over and over and over and over. And so unless you're...
Into mediocre games.
And so I'm not going to purchase a game where I've got one sitting on the shelf that does what it does better.
I would play... Irish Gauge basically tried to mix Airlines Europe and Modern Art, but it didn't, and it failed. I would play either of those over Irish Gauge in a heartbeat.
Well, I don't think it mixed them. It made the mistake. Irish Gauge made the mistake of getting outside of its lane and becoming something that's the industry already has solid games in. If you're going to make a bidding game, it had better be a really good bidding game, because there are fantastic bidding games already. If you're going to make a stock game, well, there's good stock games out there, but a lot of them are very complicated. So go and make a light stock game or something that require, an investing game. Well, Airlines Europe right now, in terms of a light to medium weight next step game for investing, that's it. That is the game to beat. And so unless somebody can come up with something that's similar or greater than that does something different, that offers something new, there's no need to look anywhere else. If you haven't played Airlines Europe, you need to definitely seek it out. It's an older game. Like I said, it was made in like 2011, this particular edition. It's actually older than that. Alan R. Moon, great game. Far superior to Ticket to Ride. I'm not a big Ticket to Ride fan, but Irish Gauge, it just didn't click with us. It's too light, too samey, and there are just better games out there.
I was going to say it was okay, but
it's not okay.
In retrospect, like I don't want to play it again.
No, we don't want to play it again. Well, as the host, should you sign off?
Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We hope to be the Jag of board game podcasts, and that despite our mediocrity, we stay on the air for many, many, many years and make our hosts rich.
What about the star? You're supposed to say thank you for having me.
And we wish Enrique was here, but he's not.
Thank me for being here.
And until next time, I'm Gaby.
This is Jerry.
Thank you for listening to the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.